And we have guests that will always be our favorites. One of our only repeat guests is Henry Winkler. When you just have a very casual conversation with him, you realize his appeal to the world.
Other episodes that were just happen to be fantastic that we should go back and watch from your previous archives? My
favorite episode is features Joyce Bulifant. She wrote a book called My Four Hollywood Husbands. It's absolutely a tremendously entertaining read. She was married to, what is this guy's name?
Charles MacArthur.
James MacArthur,
James
the
MacArthur.
son. Yeah. The son of Mary Martin or Helen Hayes. I mixed those two up. Anyway, huh? Yeah. Yeah. So this is this kid who is like, very, very divorced parents, impoverished childhood. And suddenly she's hanging out with Helen Hayes. But Helen Hayes' son, Jimmy, is an alcoholic. And then this launches Joyce on this like career of taking care of alcoholic husbands and finally winding up with the man of her dreams. And it's quite a ride and remarkably entertaining.
And we have guests that will always be our favorites. One of our only repeat guests is Henry Winkler, who happens to be a close friend of Louise's. And we had him on, but not because he's a close friend, because when you just have a very casual conversation with him, you realize his appeal to the world. He's one of the most down-to-earth, non-condescending, brilliant guys who never talks down to you. He's just the loveliest man in the world and who has had an astonishing career. And we've had him on, and we're going to try to get him on again because he has an autobiography coming out soon. So we hope we can coerce him into coming back on. But yeah, we love those too. We haven't had, have we had anybody else on twice? I don't think so.
Adam Schiff.
Oh, Adam Schiff, yeah, the politician. Well, now his life has changed because he's running for senator from California. But
he's Fritz's congressman, so he's congressionally obligated to attend our podcast. He has to take care of constituent care, I believe is how he refers to it. No, he's wonderful and a very funny guy as well, and we're always just really honored to speak to him. Another favorite show of mine is, I call it the Steves. It's Steve Young and Steve O'Donnell both wrote for David Letterman. And Steve Young has created this documentary called Bathtubs Over Broadway, where Steve Young becomes obsessed with industrial musicals. And he goes on this deep dive search for all of the cast albums of industrial musicals, about plumbing fixtures and farm equipment and you can find this.
They were performed only for representatives of the company. They were like in-house things with in-house jokes and songs about, copper tubing and that kind of stuff. And it's really very entertaining. And I know it's on Amazon Prime right now, and it still gets a lot of views.
I think it's on Netflix.
For Letterman, two Harvard graduates, two of the funniest human beings you will ever spend time with. That was a blast.
Right. So those are the things that it's fun to talk to Pat Boone and Vicki Lawrence and Johnny Whitaker and Christopher Knight and all of our comedian friends. But those are the stories that you love uncovering, is things that you didn't know were there and that delight you.
Where do we find you? How often are you broadcasting? Where do we find you? Website, social media? What's the best way to follow and find this show?
Anywhere you type Media Path Podcast, it's gonna come up. So depending on what apps that you have, or just the internet in the browsing window, Media Path Podcast, you'll find our website. The only thing that makes podcasting unique is it's wherever you are. Our podcast is on YouTube, so you at least know how to do YouTube. So just go to YouTube and search Media Path Podcast.